Sun's out, of course it'll be a beautiful day. Let us chosen ones light up the world and be as free as heaven's sand. The sunflowers dance and sing while the bees buzz to the beat like a beat was made. As we all sang, I then prayed, and we all shine throughout the days. The more we sang, the more God communicated to us his ways. For whether we live unto the Lord. And whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore die. We are the Lord's. As I began, the sunflowers, 3 birds went by for a fly, then came to stop by. I was amazed at how much they admired my work and recognized it was to praise the Most High. They then too partook in the great awe. I was so amazed that they too even admired the experience of the wisdom mind. Suns in the sky. So the inspiration coming from, me painting the sun and everything really just came from me wanting to work with different colors. Because at first I started to work with, blue and cool colors that I usually like, and just to see like a different version of what I could actually create. And it was actually hard coming up with something with these colors, but I'm like, okay, I can go for a sun. Then I saw like sunflowers, and then I'm like, oh, that'll be a cool image. So the sunflowers in itself, like, it took a long time. So I started out with basically like the stems, then I drew like the little circle, middle and side of the piece, and I did those all individually as they like go out. And then that's when I started to do the petals. And then that's when the shading comes in and the picture feels more alive. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you start to get the image that you want onto wherever you projecting it to. Once you shade or once you fill in, that's what gives anything life. Once you fill in and you shade something or you give it color, you give it something that's going to make it bold. That's what catches people's eyes. That's what catches life, you know what I mean? So when you shading something or you just know exactly what you got, and that's when life comes into anything that you do. You know what I mean? And you just always have to have focus. You always have to have concentration and a vision of what you're trying to project from your mind into this world, and always have God as an inspiration as well, just ask God, work through me. Holy Spirit, lead me to what you want me to create. Help me understand what you have me been trying to create. And he'll lead you to what you need to do. You know what I mean? Then I just wanted to take a picture with the image of myself so you could kind of see like, okay, it kind of looks like me. And that's kind of my first time or second time drawing like myself in like a cartoonish way, and I just thought it was cool. I also had to take a picture with myself just to, you know, see the cartoon version versus the real experience. Then you have it, the picture as a whole, just representing God's creation as a whole, and whether we die or live, we are his. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what anybody say, no matter what anybody do, nobody can't take anything away from you. God always helps you focus. God always listening. God always reaching out his hand. It's just up to us. Who are we gonna choose? Are we gonna choose to listen to God? Or are we gonna choose to ignore him? And God, he blesses us with a whole bunch of talents, gifts, and all that. So really, every single body's life is a blessing in itself, because everybody's always suffering through something. And what actually really intrigued me while doing this is that it was like a party. Actually, it was a wedding going on while I was like doing this, and I didn't even know. Like, this how you know how amazing God is. Like, God had me doing this while it was a wedding going on. Like, I was drawing this outside of a wedding, and I just made me think like, wow, like I feel like this is for their wedding. Like, God is like happy that they're getting married or something. And then like I think it was the guy's like little sister niece, like she just kept running up to me, just kept running up to me. She just wanted to play with the chalk and everything. I didn't mind it at all, you know, because like I really like seeing kids happy. I really like making kids be the best that they can be. So, you know, like as long as she was happy, as long as she got to see what she liked, then it made me happy. Like as long as I get to do my work, then I was fine with it, you know? And it just made me feel good, and I know it made her feel good and the rest of her family feel good, because just to know that somebody's getting married, just to know that you're creating something that's directly from God, shows and speaks to people, the people who actually see and the people who actually seek God, you know what I mean? Like, seek and you shall find. And then at the end, her grandpa, like the little girl's grandpa, came up to me. He was like, yo, I really like this. Like, it took him a long time to come up to me to talk to me, he says. He was just like, I saw my little granddaughter just coming up to you, running to you a lot and just seeing what you're working on. But he told me, like, he just saw me sitting here looking at me, just seeing me work on the sunflowers and everything, and it just amazed him because of how focused I was, and I didn't have to worry about any distraction or anything bothering me because how deep I was inside of the image. And that's how focused God wants us to be. God, like, whatever we're doing, God wants us to be totally aware and present into what we're doing. He don't want us worrying about anything, because there's nothing really to worry about. If you really just look at your life and look at little things, really it's all about the little things. If you look at the little things in your life, you will realize how much blessed you are. And it really made my day when her grandpa came up and said how amazed he was, and just like it made his day just sitting here look at this. And it really made my day because somebody took the time out to appreciate what I was doing for the community, to appreciate, you know, just things going on in general, because a lot of people don't do anything like this. It's not like I'm trying to do it because nobody else is doing it. Like, I really need to do this because it's just in me to do, and it just brings a peace to me. Like, every time I create, every time I do something, especially for God, makes me feel very accomplished. So I'm very glad that I inspired others, and I'm very glad that he came up to me, spoke to me, communicated that with me, because that let me know that someone is inspired. And he told me like it was his son's wedding and everything, and like it just got me so happy, like, that I was doing this at the time. And at the time he was telling me that I didn't like everything was completely except for the picture that you see of myself, kind of like with the angel praying hands and everything like that. And I told him I was almost done, and he was just saying like he's gonna like show it everywhere, give me recognition and everything. And I'm just very glad that God basically like touched his soul, touched his heart, that he opened up his eyes and see that, you know, like, you're God's, like, you don't gotta worry about nothing. I feel like maybe this was specifically for him, but I do know it was for everybody as a whole as well. However, I do appreciate that guy taking his time to come and talk. You know what I mean? And people sometimes shouldn't be afraid to talk. Like, if you see somebody doing something and you feel curious, you feel intrigued, and you want to learn, go out and learn. Because you're never going to learn or go anywhere just sitting around. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go and get what you know that you want. Remember what I said earlier in the video, you got to have a vision. But all in that, like, it was just so great. And about time I left, I was done with the praying hands, and I felt like the moment I left, because like as I was there, like I was there before the wedding even started. So as people was coming, and I was already kind of dressed up too, like, but like as people was coming, they were looking at me. Like some people liked it, some people was hating, some people tried to step over and act like they ain't even see it. You know what I mean? But you just gotta be focused on what you're doing and not care what the devil is trying to bring to you, because the devil will try to always bring attacks. You just gotta know that you're strong within God, and God will crush him every time. You just gotta have faith in God. So when people trying to walk over you or walk over things that you did, that's them that's going to fall. That has nothing to do with you. That's them. They're demons. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about people not liking what you do or anything like that. However, my point is, I was there just doing it before the wedding started, and I was kind of already dressed up. So it was like people thinking like, oh, is he a part of this? Is he not? Da 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 da. And people was just looking at me the whole time, and and the guy's granddaughter just kept, running up trying to paint with chalk and everything, and her mom, like, she would just keep running out after her, But look at it like this: God says, be careful who you entertain, because you might be entertaining an angel. You know what I'm saying? Some people on earth that you've met are really angels in a human flesh. Some people that you meet are actually demons in human flesh. Who are you entertaining? Some people that's been truly nice to you, people done crossed them and did them dirt a lot of times. However, if a person that you see is doing something like this, they seem mysterious to you. They seem, basically, a lot of people was nervous to be around me. A lot of people didn't know how to approach me, but you can tell God was inside of that guy to come and talk to me, because nothing couldn't hold him back. The enemy couldn't hold him back. It's like he needed to know, or he had to talk to me. You know what I mean? And God will use certain people to get somebody to communicate with in order to get that person closer to God. You see what I'm saying? So when I left, I just started to think about what the guy would think about, because when he started to talk to me, everybody else started to open up, and everybody else kind of broke down their defenses to see what I was doing. And basically, you just need men like that in this world to be able to step forward and to take that step of action, not be afraid of anything. Because if you're just sitting around being scared all your life, then you won't learn anything new. So I feel like when I left, and he saw the image of the angel praying hands with the actual message of the words, not just seeing the words. Because before, like as he was talking to me, everything was done except for the words and the image of myself, like of the praying hands. So when I left, I started to think about it, and I felt like everything he was feeling started to make sense to him. Why was my granddaughter coming up to you so much? Because you have a gift that children are close to. Children are always connected to God. You know what I mean? Like, children are always going to be connected to God. They have a natural love. So if you see a child just naturally just loving somebody, you want to think, is this person really close to God? Or, they just basically have a loving presence. And I wouldn't be surprised if anybody started crying looking at this, because who knows what people actually go through. We was just really talking for a long time. But out of all of that, it just made me feel good that someone, at least one, admired it. At least one caught it for what it was. You know what I mean? And I'm just super glad that God used me to do this and help reach out to people. And just glad that I'm able to do this, and so much more is gonna be able to come in. Like so much more of this is going to come. So thank you everybody who watched this, who tuned in, who listened to me speak. A lot of things are going to be coming on the way. A lot of music, a lot of art, a lot of stuff. So just make sure y'all tuning in. God bless y'all. Have a good one.